What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Standpoint Podcast. This is episode 34. With me, as always, my co-host Jordan Bohannon. Jordan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Zachary. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I have a good guest today. I'm really excited to dive into this. It's Jordan's favorite holiday today, so I hope you celebrated accordingly, buddy. But how you doing? And then how you been doing, man, since the last time we recorded?
Pretty good. Just been chilling, working on a lot with the NCPA. We got a Mark Emmert meeting tonight, so just been preparing for that the last week or so. Hopefully to get something accomplished tonight with that.
Before we start, too, I want to give a quick shout out to Tyler Cook. I don't know if you saw that, Jordan. Got his first start last night.
My boy TC. Let's go. Let's go.
Getting buckets in Detroit, catching lobs, catching bodies. So shout out to Tyler Cook. Really,
Getting paid too. Getting paid.
Yeah, we're happy about that, and it's good to see it. Finally paying off, but literally and figuratively. But we have a really special guest today, former Iowa Hawkeye, current Denver Bronco tight end, Noah Fant. Noah, how you doing today?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good.
It's good. I mean, this is I feel like this is definitely one we've been excited for. Definitely a really cool journey you've been on, and kind of just want to start off by just saying or just asking you. You're in a unique position. Obviously, you've been talking about the draft and stuff. You talked about it and going in the same round as TJ and everything. But how weird was that testing and basically competing against a guy you've been teammates for such a long time? And were you rooting for him? I mean, obviously you probably were, but was like a
Yeah.
competitive thing, or how'd that go?
Yeah, no, it was definitely weird. It was just a weird experience, being teammates and all that stuff. But obviously I was happy for him when he got drafted and all that. So I mean it was cool, but obviously obviously I wanted to go a couple picks higher. But I was happy with where I ended up at. Denver's great. And I ended up in a really good city in Denver. So it worked out. It worked out good.
How has that transition been going from playing at Iowa to the Broncos? I know we always ask all the athletes that have made that jump. They kind of always have that same similar answer. So I'm curious to see what your answer is to that.
Dude, the Broncos have been great, man. I mean, I was a little bit more strict. Our football program is a little more strict. So I got to the Broncos and it was just like, I wouldn't say laid back, but it's just like super professional. Like it's just like they understand like you're grown, like you pay your bills and all that stuff. So they're not looking after you like that. But as long as you're producing on the field, doing your job and not getting in trouble, like they're pretty laid back. So it was a good change, man. It was a good change up and really nice to, kind of experience that side of the game. So
What was the biggest misconception you had going to the NFL, and what's the biggest basically lesson you learned or thing that realizing, looking back, like wow, like I didn't understand this is how this worked or something like that?
yeah, I thought it was going to be like college in the fact that like guys hang out and like do stuff like that, but you get into a locker room and you get guys that are like 35, 36, have full families at home and stuff like that, and it's not really like that. So you definitely hang out with the guys in your class. You guys will go out and have fun and stuff like that, but you don't hang out with for example, like when my rookie year, Joe Flacco was there, he had fucking like 5 kids and a wife and family at home, so we didn't hang out that much. But so I say that was probably the biggest misconception for me.
What's your welcome to the NFL moment?
Oh shit, dude, we were playing the Bears, and for some reason we had a design where I was like pass blocking Khalil Mack 1-on-1, and he just like annihilated stack. Like probably one of the worst plays of my rookie year, but that was probably my welcome to the NFL moment for sure.
Would you say that Drew Lock is valid or what?
I would say so, man. He's got all the arm talent, all the intangibles in the world. It's just a matter of being consistent and figuring out this offense together. As our whole offense is super young, so I think he can do it, and I think our team has faith in him too. So we'll see how it goes this year.
Was it a sorry to interrupt you, Jordan, but was it a weird transition to go from Nate Stanley to Drew Lock, who's rapping Meek Mill on the sideline? Like, how'd that dynamic switch from you, and how did you basically get accustomed to that and learn how to work?
No, yeah, it was definitely different. Nate's definitely more of a quiet dude, just like more reserved, but definitely like arm talent similar, right? I think Nate was definitely underrated coming out of college. Like he can throw the ball he can throw the ball pretty far. So arm strength is definitely very similar, but Drew's a little bit more with the the hip hop and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool experience to see, and it's fun playing with them for sure.
What's it like having, because there's been a lot of Iowa guys drafted and playing on NFL teams. It feels like, I think Iowa, I don't know the exact stat, but Iowa's like the top 20 school in the entire country that has the most NFL picks or NFL guys in the league right now. So
Yeah.
how cool has it been to traveling around, playing different NFL teams and seeing whether it's close teammates that you played with or former Iowa Hawkeyes that are out there on the field with you?
Yeah, man, it's dope. It's really cool to see that, and some of the guys were there before I even was, so it's cool getting to talk to them and kind of hear their experiences at Iowa and stuff like that. So it's been great. I've jersey swapped with a couple of guys like Josh Jackson, Desmond, and those guys playing those guys. So it's been pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to keeping it going and getting some more jerseys from those guys. So.
Where do you keep all the jerseys? Do they sign them or do they just give you the jersey?
Yeah, so they sign them and you get them sent to you. So once I move into my new house, I'm gonna have this whole little setup, and a lot of guys have like a little like enshrinement where they like hang them up all on the wall and stuff like that. So it'll look good. It'll look pretty cool. So I'm excited.
Dope. That's dope.
What do you miss most about Iowa City, Noah?
You want the honest answer?
Yeah, hell yeah.
We're all about
All right.
honesty here.
The biggest thing I miss about Iowa City is Summit on Saturday nights.
Jesus.
Shout out Brad.
Some things never change.
I know Brad's an avid listener to this podcast, so we gotta give him his props for taking.
Oh yeah, that's a big shout out for Brad right there. Man. I've had some of my best nights in Summit.
Can you walk us through, speaking about Summit, do you have any instances or anything ever happen you going out? Like, I mean, Jordan said sometimes like with the basketball players or football players, like people come up to you or people, try and act hard or something, or was there any funny moments or memorable moments you had going out with the guys or someone trying to come up to you or what?
Not really, man.
I mean, you're really big, so I mean, I'm not gonna.
No one's gonna fuck with Noah.
Maybe Jordan. Yeah, that makes sense now. That makes sense.
I never really had anybody come up and try me or anything. Really, it was always. I have a lot of good memories of just like going into Summit with like obviously the basketball guys in there too, just like rounding up shots, just taking shots with each other and stuff like that. So those are all fond memories, and hopefully I can get back to that soon in Iowa City for a little visit. So.
Dude, I actually have a story, Zach. I was in Okoboji 2 years ago. I don't know if you remember this, Noah, but you were with your girlfriend on, I don't know whose boat it was, but it was during the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm on the back of a jet ski, and we're just weaving through. But anyone that's been to Okoboji during the summer over 4th of July knows it's like fucking crazy. Like boats on boats on boats, people everywhere. So it was 2 years ago, and I'm just like weaving through. Someone, I can't remember who was driving the jet ski, and we dropped, I think we had 3 people on the jet ski, which is illegal, but fuck it. And we're dropping I think it was some girl off or I don't remember who it was, and we drop it off to the boat, and I see Noah Fant. He's like, J-Bo, what's up, bro? Like all randomly. I'm like, because at the time I didn't know that's where. Is your girlfriend from there, right? Or
yeah, so she's from a small town in Iowa, from Ankeny, but. Yeah, I got a lot of friends that go up there to Boji, so I snuck up there that one year, and I've been going ever since, man. So,
bro, I was weak. I was like, of all people, I see Noah Fant, the first person on that boat.
Yeah.
What's the coolest thing about Denver, about Colorado that you weren't used to coming from, like Nebraska and Iowa?
Man, I love the weather out here. It's like a perfect balance of like Midwest and West Coast. There's like the weather's pretty mild. You'll get some snow. Like we just got probably like 4 inches of snow yesterday, and it's all melted already. So it's like it's like super mild weather, beautiful weather, and then like obviously all the outdoor stuff to do. Going up to the mountains, there's so many things you can do out here. So it's a great vibe and a great city. So I think those are the 2 things I like most about it.
Is the weather more sporadic there compared to Iowa? Because Iowa would be having 70-degree days, and the next day it'd be 20 degrees and snowing.
Yeah. So sometimes it does get like that, and it's kind of bipolar for sure. But the nice thing is like in Iowa, right? So like in the winter, you'll get those snows, and those snows will stay there for like 6 weeks. And it'll just get like icy and stuff like that. But like when it snows here, it all melts hella fast. So it's nice that for that to be different than Iowa, and it gets hella cold in Iowa too. So
have you been sledding?
I've been sledding. I've been snowboarding up there too, which you're not supposed to do.
There's no way your big ass have been snowboarding,
Dude,
bro.
Like an
it was my
avalanche.
first time. It was my first time, but it was great, man. It was a lot of fun.
That's funny.
What do you do in the off time or like off season or when you're not actually practicing and stuff like that? What do you do for fun in Denver?
There's so many things. So like actually the nightlife out here is pretty good, man. It's like it's a good vibe. It's you usually don't run into too many people that are like trying to start issues and stuff. So that's fun. Like I said, I've been up to the mountains a couple times. We got a couple good lakes out here that people go to and like do wake surfing and stuff like that. And then obviously I love running like Call of Duty and Madden and stuff like that. So playing video games. So I'd say those are the things that I do the most while I'm out here just chilling. So
How surreal was it to use the Broncos when you got drafted and literally see your name on the screen? Was like really cool. Were you like were you expected at that time?
dude, I was sweating that whole time because like so like I was a little like I would my draft grade, I was like anywhere from like 8 to 32. Like so I was like, that's what my agent told me. So I was like, we'll see what happens. Like I had no clue where I was gonna go. A bunch of teams have told me that they were going to take me super early, and then other guys started falling, and it pushed me down a little bit. So, yeah, I was sweating the whole time. So then when I got the call from Denver, I was super happy. My two teams that I wanted to go to was either Denver or Minnesota. So I was pumped to get one of those. So it worked out good.
Bro, that shit fascinates me that they give you that draft range of 8 to 32. So like you literally don't have any clue on what
No
team
clue
might
at
pick you up
all.
at the time. That
Yeah.
is nuts. Is that normal like for most guys that are in like top pick range? Like they give them
Yeah,
that range?
unless you're like a top like a lock top 5 pick, they'll tell you like you're going to go in the top 10 for sure. But other than that, bro, it's just the way the draft works. It just anything can happen. Like anything, like if one guy falls to one team, it can push their whole everybody's schedule back, and then guys can fall, guys can rise. So it just all depends. And dude, sitting in the green room, it's like a lot of people you don't get to see it on TV, but in between each of those picks, it's like a 10-minute wait. So like on TV, you see it, they just roll them out. But from in the green room, like real time, you're like sitting in between. It's like 10 minutes between each pick. So it's like a lot of waiting time sitting there, just sweating. So
That's wild. That's
yeah.
wild.
Obviously, if you follow Jordan, he talks a lot about athlete rights and name, image, and likeness, and basically being able to profit off your all of that type of stuff. My question to you is: do you think that do you agree while your time at Iowa that it would have been a little nice to be able to profit off your name, do some commercials, do some sponsorships here and there? Or do you think
Oh,
it takes away from
100%.
like yeah?
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. Sorry, I cut you off, but
No, you're good.
100%. Like, for basketball, it's a little different because like they could probably make more money, right? Because people see their face, they're on TV, all that stuff. We got the helmets on and stuff like that, but it definitely could have made a good amount of money, man. Like especially for football, if you're playing offense, like you're scoring touchdowns or you're throwing touchdowns, or you're like a running back, right? Those guys make a lot of money in marketing when they get to the NFL. So there's no reason that it couldn't happen when they're in college where they're making so much money for those colleges. Like they should definitely get a cut of it for sure. So I'm 100% in agreement, and I think it's dope that J-Bo's leading that way and trying to get that done for everybody, man. Because it just takes one. It just takes one for sure.
I was just thinking about this. When we had CJ on, it was probably what, last October, Zach?
Yeah.
We didn't I mean, I'm just thinking about you talk about football players not making much, but I'm thinking about CJ, his junior or senior year when they go undefeated. It was your
Yeah,
freshman year?
No,
That was
that was my senior year of high school.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The year
But think
that was
before.
a
about it, like,
junior year.
yeah, so CJ's that year, like everyone knew CJ Beathard.
Right.
Like he was so well known in the state of Iowa, bro. Like
Exactly.
he could have cashed in huge. Like it's not like he's not already cashing in pretty big for playing professionally now, but man, like thinking back that season and how like the notoriety they were getting across the entire country, like they were
Right.
all over everywhere.
Exactly.
And I mean, I kind of wish we could have gone back and asked him that question because I don't even think we asked him about, what that was like to be known by literally. I mean, everyone still knows Iowa City, like CJ Beathard, like
Right.
that's the
Exactly.
king of Iowa City right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wild.
What was the obviously you getting drafted? You're in the NFL. Did you wake up one day and like just kind of wake up in Denver and like, damn, like I'm really here. Like, you know what I mean? Like we made it. Like that's just like the pinnacle of like my existence and like basically my top goal for the NFL. I mean, obviously you have bigger goals within it, but getting there
Yeah,
was huge. So did you have that moment when you woke up or were you just like, all
dude.
right, let's ride?
Honestly, it hit me like in camp, and it was like a really weird. It was a really weird moment, but we were coming out to do stretches, and I was just like sitting there on the grass waiting for everybody to get out there. I was just looking at my pants for some reason, and I mean, everybody's pants has those NFL logos on them. I'm like, dang, like that is really crazy. Like I've like you said, I've got to that this goal that I've always wanted to get to. And then that kind of made me that just sparked me to get like I was like even hungrier at that point. It's just like I got so many more goals that I want to accomplish within, like you said, within the league. And but I feel like for sure everybody has that one moment. It's like, damn, like yeah, I really made it to this spot. And now, try to take advantage of it for sure.
I'm curious to ask. I just lost my train of thought here.
Want me to sub in here?
Yeah, I just lost my train of thought.
All right. Oh man, you messed me up. The stupid is just contagious.
I had a bang energy for my workout, so my mind's just going crazy right now. So
yeah, you'd have too much soda, Jordan.
No, bang, bro. Too much caffeine.
Okay, so being in the NFL, obviously, you're doing cool opportunities, a lot of cool situations, meeting a lot of cool people. Who is the biggest celebrity you've met, or the coolest person to you personally, where you're like, wow, I can't believe I met them?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, for me, honestly, man, like I'm a big football junkie. So like after we play the Chiefs and like when Kelsey came up and talked to me and just like chopped it up after the game and just like little bits of encouragement, man, like that stuff means a lot to me. So he was probably the biggest like football star. I got to throw with Cam Newton this offseason, which was, I mean, pretty dope. Like he was like a, MVP of the league and stuff. So as far as like celebrities outside of that, man, I was like this close to meeting Post Malone when he came to concert here, and I wasn't able to get it backstage in time for him to meet him. But I'd say those are the biggest ones. Yeah.
Which rapper or like artist are you dying to meet?
Drake, man. I'm
Drake?
a big Drake fan. One day I watch. I'm telling you, one day I'm gonna meet Drake. I'm gonna meet him for sure.
Bro, tell him to release his damn album then. Like what's going on? Holy shit.
We need it. We need it.
I mean, it's been months. Like, what we doing, Drake? Come on. I remember my question now, though. I do remember my question. So knowing Tristan Wirfs, I had this in mind. He played or wrestled in high school. His big ass wrestled. I don't know how that was legal, but I'm curious. Did you wrestle? Did you play any sports? Like not into high school, but even before high school, even.
Yeah, so I didn't wrestle. I did basketball and track.
Yeah, I know you play basketball.
Yeah. So I mean, I wasn't good like elite at basketball. I was like getting recruited to like small D1s, like 1AA's. But yeah, then I did track also, which was fun. But football ended up working out best. I was getting like major D1 offers for football, so I went that track. So
what'd you run in track?
I did the 200 meter, and then I did triple jump and high jump. So, yeah.
Do you think he could jump higher than you, Jordan?
I mean, yeah, I don't have that much high of a vertical, bro. Dude, if I had a high vertical, I've been in the league a long time ago.
Right.
Boy, yeah. Imagine little George is yamming on people.
I had a 44-inch vertical. Can you imagine? Holy shit.
Okay, let's talk about that. How cool was it to just literally just shit on everyone in every category during the combine? Like how seriously, how cool was that?
Yeah, no, that was dope. But dude, a lot of people don't know this is that I did not test well at the combine. For the people that I was training with, bro, like I was planning on running the 4.4s, jumping at least like a 40-41. And I really didn't test well. So when I left the combine, I was kind of like I was still pissed, and I was gonna retest at pro day and everything. And my agent told me like, yo, like we're not gonna do that. You're at the top of every category. Like you just need to relax. So I had to kind of swallow that pill a little bit, but it was dope, man. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how like kind of like just like shitty the combine is, just like how long you're there. Like there's just things called formal meetings that you have with teams, which is like you sit down with them at a table of all their executives, head coaches, everybody's in there. and it's usually for about 15 minutes, and they just grill you. They just pound you with questions. And I had 22 of those while I was at the combine. So it was a long couple days, but it was definitely an experience of a lifetime. So I wouldn't take it back though.
That's so hard to even like prepare for that. Like, how do you even like? Yeah, you can do some
Well, that's
lifts,
the point, Jordan. You're
working out.
supposed to be
No,
on
but
it.
I'm saying no. But what I'm saying, it's the same thing with NBA like draft. Like it's the same thing that they go through. Like
Yeah.
you bench like 185. Like you know what I'm
Twice
saying?
for you,
Like
Jordan.
why is that even in the combine? That's what it doesn't make any sense. Like I get the vertical test, I get everything else, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It just some stuff just is bizarre to me on why they test some things.
No, for sure. There's a bunch of stuff like that, and just like I'm sure that, like you said, the NBA draft is the same way. Like waking up, they woke us up at literally. I had to get out of bed at 4 a.m. that day for a drug test, just to pee in a cup, and then I was right into meetings after that. So it's just little stuff like that they like try to get under your skin. To try, there's been stories of guys that have just like cracked at the combine, like just like lost it. So it's intense though. So
Was there any teams that through the process you were like, please, I hope to God they don't take me?
oh, dude.
And you could be honest. No, listen.
my
Like,
goodness.
we'll phrase this. Like, I know you're grateful for the opportunity. Like, it's a
Yeah.
blessing to be where you are. But like, all that aside, fuck that. What teams were you like, please don't take me?
Dude, and this is no offense to TJ. I love TJ, and I was happy that he went to Detroit, but I did not want to end up in Detroit at all. I went on a visit there, and I hated it. Like I did not like their coaches. But now the city and all that stuff is cool. But dude, I was not a fan of Detroit. And then Jacksonville was one, and then the Patriots. I was like those three. I was just like not feeling it at the time, but. I will say this about the Patriots. I did love Bill Belichick. Like meeting with him, like a lot. He gets a bad rep from a lot of people, but he's just just like a I wouldn't even say a grandpa because that's too old, but like he's just like a guy. Like he just loves football, and I was just chopping it up with him, and he was actually really cool. So I did enjoy talking to him, which was dope.
Is Belichick as like articulate, concise as people, or as he makes himself out to be, like in interviews?
So he's not like that all the time. I don't think, as he is in interviews, but the dude is a genius when it comes to football. Like he knows everything about the game and everything like that, but he's not like, sometimes he comes off like a little blunt, like in interviews and stuff. And at least when I was talking to him, he wasn't like that at all. He was super laid back, and like he was fun to talk to. So it was good.
So is there anything that happened on the field, in your first couple of years in the NFL? Like, did you have already beef with any guys, ever fight with any guys? Or I guess what I'm trying to ask is,
no. I want to know how does trash talking work in football? Like, is it before
do people talk shit?
I want to know this because basketball is pretty simple. Like, I feel like
he's probably lining up and they're probably talking shit, right, on the line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what are they saying to you?
That definitely goes down. So my rookie year, they'll say anything, man. Like I remember specifically, there was one play. We were playing against the Bears, ironically, which is the same play with Khalil Mack. But we did this little tight end screen, and fucking Leonard Floyd just read it out, right? Just read it out nasty. And he got to me like right when I caught the ball, like suplexed me, and it was bad. Like they were just their whole D line was just like in my face talking shit, just saying how much that place sucked and all this other stuff. So it happens all the time, man. And it's actually fun though, because when you make a play, then you can go back right to them, and the refs let it go a little bit as long as there's like no punches thrown or whatever. So it's a good environment though. It's a lot of fun. It makes competition, raised to a high level for sure. So
we asked Austin this.
Ask who?
Austin, right?
Austin who?
No, not Austin. Alan. Maybe it was Alan.
Lazard? Yeah.
Yeah. We asked Alan this about like fumble recoveries. What's that like?
Oh no, that was Ike Bodeger.
Oh, it was Ike.
Pile.
It was Ike. Yeah. It was Ike.
Have you been in a dog pile?
I think we asked Alan that too. But anyway, what is it like the dog pile like? Dude, have you been in one?
So I haven't been in a dog pile from a fumble, right? Those like people actually low key get hurt in those because like it's a lot of bodies flying to the ball at once. But I haven't been in the opportunity where I've really been close to a fumble. But I've been in a dog pile before where I got tackled, and it just like a bunch of dudes like just landed on me, and I actually like slipped a rib for because I got crunched so hard. It was like three D linemen, and one of them was like 330 pounds. It was against the Raiders, and I actually like slipped a rib because of how much weight was like bearing down on me. So those aren't fun, man. Those are those are kind of painful for sure. So
That's what Keith said. Remember, he said that after he kicked the game-winning field goal, he like dove on the field and everyone jumped on
Yeah.
top of him. He's
oh,
like,
dude, I remember that game. He was low key about to pass out. Like when we lifted him up, like he didn't look well. He didn't look well at all.
So let's go back a little bit to your time at Iowa. I'll ask you a two-parter here. So what what was your favorite memory at Iowa? Okay, one, on the field, and then two, why didn't we throw it to you more?
Well, let's start with the easy one. Let's start with the easy one of what was my favorite memory. I have a top two. So when we beat Ohio State, that was a crazy game. That was one of the best memories. Like we started off the game with a pick six with Amani taking that kick to the house. Like that was a crazy experience. That was a cool one. And then my second favorite memory was when I caught that long touchdown against Minnesota and rode the boat on them. And that was like, because they were, bruh, Minnesota for some reason just really got under my skin, and so that was a fond memory of mine. I really like that. But for part two, I don't.
You could be honest a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like when it came down to it. I'm not gonna say which coaches, but me and a specific coach butted heads sometimes, and it just I think that kind of played into it, but. I think I got the ball enough. I still got drafted in the first round, so it didn't do too much damage. But yeah, man, I sure do wish I had the ball more, man. I think I could have done some damage in college, but I also understand that we had TJ too, and we had other guys that were making plays for us, so I couldn't get the ball all the time. But so yeah.
Do you think that? No, I hear you. So from your perspective, obviously, like. You like blocking, but you also like receiving more, obviously. I mean, some people like blocking like George Kittle, but not everyone. Right. But so my question is there some part of you that was kind of hoping that Iowa kind of, maybe loosened up a little bit and kind of aired it out a little bit more, maybe not necessarily a spread offense, but, kind of spread guys out a little bit more? Or do you think that, that helped you get to the NFL because you had those blocking skills and those two tight end sets a lot?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I really did like the blocking standpoint because it did really help me when it came to film study with teams, right? They at least want to see you putting the effort towards the blocking game, right? They're not asking you to annihilate somebody or anything like that, but they want to see you put the effort forwards. And so that was helpful. And I think, I definitely could have been moved around more in the offense, but at the same time, I think they did a decent job with moving me around, and I was motioning around a lot, kind of split out sometimes and things like that. So for the college level, man, I think it was decent. I think it was. I wouldn't say it was bad at all. And so I mean, yeah, I don't know if I don't know if that is the right thing to say, but I definitely think that I could have been moved around a little bit more. So
it's the question, since you talked about Kelsey Osceola meeting him. Obviously, he's a stud.
Yeah.
Unbiasedly, like we all love George Kittle. He's the man. Like no one hates him. Who's better, George Kittle or Travis Kelce? And be honest, from a football standpoint, man, from stuff that I'm talking about, like stuff people aren't seeing, the work ethic, the intricacies of the details. Who is better in your opinion?
Man, I don't even know if I can answer that because like let me explain this to you. So there's different types of tight ends in the league, right? So George is really good at obviously blocking. He blocks, right? He blocks his butt off. But then he's really good after the catch, yards after catch. Then Kelsey is like, watching Kelsey, bro, is like, he just finesses defenses. Like he finds zones, sits in them, and he's playing with, I mean, probably one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever probably is going to be doing it. So it's with Patrick Mahomes, but his route running and his football IQ is so high that it just makes him one of the greatest, man. So honestly, like a lot of people try to rank them one over the other, and they're literally right next to each other for me because they're two different types of tight ends, and so I mean I can't even really choose one. Like you said, George is my guy too, but Kelsey has made the case to be up there too. So I don't know which one it would be. Which one do you think? Which one would be it for you?
I mean, it's tough because you were right. I think that Kelsey is a little more finesse. Like he without the ball, he runs really nice routes and in that aspect. But I don't know, man. I feel like what George has done with Jimmy Garoppolo and like some of the quarterbacks, and Kelsey's had
Impressive.
Mahomes. Like
Yeah.
it's tough. It's like LeBron. It's like when LeBron took the Cavs to the finals. It's like he didn't do a lot. He had nothing around him, but like he, balled out. It's just tough. It's tough, man. It's all about the
Yeah.
quarterback, and I think you understand. I mean, you went through a time where who was your quarterback the rookie year when you're in the
Yeah,
first year?
I've been through 6 quarterbacks in 2 years.
I'm gonna lead into this. So who is the
Yeah.
quarter? Who's been your quarterbacks? And we'll get to the question after that. But who's been your quarterbacks thus far?
So start off with Joe Flacco. That's when Drew got hurt, but start off with Joe Flacco. Then it went to it was Brandon Allen. Then it was Drew Lock. Then it was Brett Rippon,
Jesus,
Jeff Driscoll,
good.
and then we played that game this year with.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Yes.
Wait, hold on, time out.
That game too. It's been 6 quarterbacks.
So Jordan doesn't watch a ton of the NFL. So can you give Jordan a little bit of explain it to him like he's like 6? What happened during that game?
So basically, with all the COVID protocols and everything that week, one of our backup quarterback Jeff Driscoll tested positive for COVID, and I guess at some point they had all been around each other. So literally Saturday when we're going through our walkthrough, the NFL calls our team as like, "Hey, none of your quarterbacks can play this game." So they pulled them all off of the field. We didn't have one quarterback on the roster. And so we ended that walkthrough. Our coach was like, well, I guess we'll see what's about to happen. And so we're all thinking like, okay, there's no way the NFL is going to send us into a game without a quarterback. Like they're going to have to, reschedule, postpone something. Because they did it for the Ravens. They did it for Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, there's no way. So then we get called in at 9:30 that night, Saturday before the game for another walkthrough. And they're like, yeah, guys, they're gonna do this. This is gonna be a thing. And they have our dude Kendall Hinton, who was a receiver at Wake Forest. He came in as a quarterback. They moved him to receiver, so he hadn't played quarterback in like 5 years, and had him playing quarterback against the Saints, but probably arguably one of the top teams in the NFL. And we were going against the Saints for a whole game without a quarterback. And I mean, he was getting blasted back there too. I felt bad for him. I went up to him multiple times, like, yo, just try your best, man. Like, I'm not even mad at you. Like, you're getting hit by a fucking Cam Jordan coming off the edge. It was tough. It was a tough game. So
didn't they move all the position players into different small groups so they weren't being
workouts, right?
Yeah. So then we start. So then after that, every team kept a emergency quarterback that was completely away from the team. Like they didn't work out with us. They didn't do anything. So they kept everybody separate. And then, like you said, after that, it was like every position group had to be separate throughout the day until we went to practice. So
how quick did you get used to the elevation in Denver? And is it real? Like, does it actually make a difference, or was it tough?
Oh no, it's real. It's real. So over time, right? So I'm going in my 3rd year. Your body acclimates itself quicker. But when I first got here, it probably took like a good 2 or 3 weeks to actually feel like I was in shape enough with how I felt when I was at Iowa. So, but as you go on, as the years go on. So this year when I came back here, it only took me about a week and a half to start feeling back to normal. So, but it definitely is a real thing for sure.
Well, it's funny you bring that shit up because my second oldest brother, Zach, he went to Air Force Academy for 2 years. And I remember going on his official visit to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
That's where the campus is. And I remember going to this arena, and it wasn't that big arena, but it was in like a pit. So I walked down. I wasn't that tired. I walked back up, and dude, it was probably like a 15-second walk up.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I'm like laying on the ground. I was only probably 8th grade at the time, so I was older.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? I can't even make it up the stairs. Like, something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know about the elevation. And he's like, yeah, my dad's like, yeah, like the elevation will get you. I'm like,
No, yeah, it's real for sure.
crazy.
What's the best spot in Iowa City that you miss eating at?
Ooh, oh my goodness, I haven't been there in so long, man. One of my favorites, honestly. So there's 2 places. I loved Formosa. Obviously, I love Formosa, big sushi guy. But then Shorts, I love Shorts too. We went there all the time, which was really good. So I'd say those 2 are my favorite for sure.
I've actually, funny story. I don't know how it happened twice. I'm not stalking you, I promise. But I sat next to you twice at Stella's. Do you fuck with Stella's?
Yeah, we went to Stella's quite a bit too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Stella's is pretty good. I remember that I think Ike said that him and CJ used to go there all the time. So
yeah,
that place smacks too. I thought it was pretty underrated.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
You didn't say anything to him, Zach? You didn't introduce yourself?
Do you know what am I gonna? Hey, Mr. Fant, like I'm just a chill. Like, but he's throat deep in a burger. I'm not gonna be like, yo, no, what's good, dog?
Tell him you're in a frat. Tell him you're in a frat, bro. Like,
nah, I'll
get you into whatever party you want. Let me know.
I was gonna let it be, but my question, kind of going into that, what have you had any like absurd interactions with people? Like, not talking shit, but like people when you're out at the bar, like just weirdos or.
Ooh, dude, honestly, there's always like different types of fans that you run into. There's
Walk
like,
through it.
yeah, so you'll have a fan, right? That's just like a generally cool fan. They'll come to you, hey, like big fan, man. You mind taking a picture? Then they'll go off, like they'll go do their thing. Then on the other hand of the spectrum, you'll have the dude that like will like come up to you and then like will like try to spend the rest of the night with
bro. Yeah. Oh my god.
like will not stop talking to you. And then there's a wide range of in between, right? But I've had some situations where it's been like, I don't want to be rude to this person, but like, yo, like I'm like here with people. Like this conversation's got to end. But I mean, Jordan, I'm sure you know too. There's a range in between there that there's some people that take it real serious for sure.
I was just trying to go to the bathroom this weekend about James, man. Like I had to pee so bad. I'm just on the way, bro. I'm not even joking. Like it was mom's weekend, which I have no problem with. Okay, it's mom's weekend. There's like 17 moms. Like, can I go to the bathroom? Like, you see me getting stopped repeatedly. Like, I'm trying to be respectful too, like you're saying, because I know you're a homo dude, and it's hard to like find that balance of like, okay, dude, like I'm here with other people. Can I like move on with my night, bro? It's hard. It is hard.
For sure. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Mom's weekend is always a good one for that because those moms will love to talk to you for as long as they can.
They're just trying to set you up with their daughter. That's all. They go, damn, D1 athlete, come here, honey.
Yeah.
What so my other question would be, what's your number one, even back in Iowa or now? What song you putting on to go out when you pregame, when you're about to go out for the night? What song is getting you to the point where you're like, I'm gonna chug this Four Loko?
Oh.
That was a famous way of asking.
Loco,
I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
In Jordan's case, how fast can I sip this White Claw?
It would have to be something. It would have to be something with Drake, man. Honestly, this last year, which is like crazy to think about. But Laugh Now, Cry Later was like my song, and like it's like kind of like a more chill vibe song, but it like got me just like in a perfect like headspace before the game where I wasn't like too hype, but I wasn't like too low either. So I'm a big Drake fan before games though. He's just like he spits real shit, so I listen to him a lot.
See,
That's funny you mentioned
Dark Queen by Lil Uzi was our teams. Like every time, like before games, every time before we go out, like pregame, we throw that shit on and everyone just starts chugging everything you have, and then we go run out to the Uber.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's funny you brought that up because Jordan, did you say you pregame to Marvin's room, right?
Oh, that was after the bars. That's when I was single.
After the game, Jordan's home crying with punch cups of the rose.
Yeah, that was after a loss.
Something else.
That was after a loss, and after the bars when I was single. Yeah, but I sit there with my little Bose speaker on my head, and I lay down on my
Jordan's
pillow.
crying again, man. We gotta figure this guy out. So this year's gonna be your third year. You're saying, what have you learned the first couple of years? I mean, like, I know that you're at the point where you're not necessarily mastered everything, but you got like a good point of stuff. Like, would you say that you're learning more every year? Like, is there stuff you're adding to your arsenal, or are you just trying to perfect what you've done already?
Yeah, no, I'd say there's definitely still stuff I'm adding to my arsenal, and like, so it's weird. Like year one, you're just trying to take anything in you can, right? It's rookie year. You're trying to, you're trying not to be a bust. Like you want to just do all you can and, make it from there. Year two, you're trying to really break out onto the scene. And then this year three, man, I've been grinding tape of Kittle, Kelsey, Waller, all these guys that, have established themselves in that elite tier of tight ends, and just trying to add anything I can to my game, man, and try to get to that tier myself. So I'd say that's been the biggest thing, just trying to keep learning and keep growing. But obviously, like over the 3 years, the biggest thing I've learned is how to take care of my body. Like a lot of guys don't, take that for granted, but I'm always trying to do anything I can with massages, hot tub, cold tub, anything like that to try to take care of my body, because, guys go through a lot of injury shit. I was banked up last year. So it's important to try to take care of your body any way you can. So.
Man, I learned that the hard way. Going through 2 hip surgeries is like, all right. After the second one, I'm like, I gotta like start eating right. I gotta start doing everything I can after workouts to get right for the next day, because I mean it takes that wake up call, honestly, for a lot of people, and it took that for me. It just sucks to go through that and then learn it the hard way, really. But I mean, sometimes it's got to be like that, for sure.
We've talked about it before. To wrap up here, I don't know if you have one more question, Jordan, but we talked about how, with like obviously how much gambling's been legalized, and obviously sports betting and fantasy football and stuff like that. Jordan's had, guys even recently with like tweeting at him, you lost me all this money. This is
Venmo request.
And like about like, college sports. So my question on you is, you're in the big times now. You are legally able to be talk shit to on Twitter for people with fantasy stuff and like that. How has the interaction been with you? Like, is there some times where you just want to reply and be like, yo, just shut up? Do you think it's funny, or like, what's your relationship with people online, whether it's sports betting or I have you on my fantasy football team, bro? Or, how's that been for you?
Dude, it honestly, so what Jordan was saying with the Venmo request, that shit cracks me up. Like, I told them to bet money on me, like, and now they're trying to get a refund. But so that shit is funny. That's funny that happens. But dude, there's been times where I've replied to these guys, and I'll just be like, because that shit really gets under my skin when there's like let's just say we lost that game, and I didn't do as well as I wanted to, and they're talking about fucking fantasy football. Like, bro, get out of my messages with some fantasy football shit. Like, I get it, right? Like, it's important to people and things like that. Like, but you don't think that I want to score a bunch of touchdowns too? Like, you don't think that I want to be scoring, catching hella passes and shit like that. So, but that's I've responded to a couple and be like, do me a favor and like never draft me again. And you're killing me. But it's all fun and games. But a lot of the time I realize that these guys, like, they'll be tweeting at you and messaging you just for like a response. So you'll respond and be like, you'll respond something like, if you're like heated or whatever, and they'll just be like, oh bro, I was just giving you trash, you're my favorite player. And like just kind of like diffuse the situation like that. So a lot of the time now I just like don't even pay attention to it.
Well, that's probably like how it is at the bars too. I'm sure you noticed that, like the people talking shit on Twitter coming up to you asking for a picture, right?
Right.
So that's it.
In a couple years, Noah, you're gonna see a Venmo request from Zach Cohen for $500. Thanks for not catching.
Nah, dude. I'll give him I'll give him a discount, man. That's all Hawkeye, dude. I'll give him a discount. No worries. But my last question is, and we're gonna get a little serious here. What's the biggest misconception about NFL athletes. We all see it on TV. We
No,
see it
not
on
just NFL athletes. About you personally.
both two-parter. NFL athletes and Noah Fant as a person.
Okay. The biggest misconception about NFL athletes. Man, that's tough. I mean, this is what I would say about NFL athletes. A lot of people, especially now, right? Like, there's a lot of situations going on right now that's putting NFL athletes in a bad light. But it's like there's like so many guys that you run into in the NFL that are like really like good, genuine people. So there's a misconception that I feel like that like a lot of NFL athletes are like either like stuck up or they just have this like God complex where they like, just feel like they can do whatever they want. But I mean, I would say maybe like 80% of the league is like good dudes. And then you have that 20% that those guys that, get off track and, make certain life decisions and stuff like that. But I would say that's one of the biggest misconceptions that, the NFL isn't full with, dudes that are good dudes. So, and I'd say the biggest misconception about me is like a lot of people tell me like either, if it's via Instagram or whatever that, oh, well, like I saw you, but I didn't come up to you. And like, they think that I like look intimidating, but it's like, for me, I know a lot of, some NFL guys aren't that way, but I love talking to people and like, I love, chopping up with people to an extent. So, but yeah, so I'm super friendly. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about me, like out and about is like, people just think that I look like, I don't know, mean or something, but I'm a good dude, I promise. So
But before we end off here, are you gonna finish the year top 10 tight end, do you think?
that's the goal, man. I mean,
Yeah.
this last year I was,
You made your way up there though.
or something like that, and like receiving yards and catches and all that stuff. But man, I gotta get up higher than that. I gotta get, up there. So that's why I've been watching all these dudes, man. I've been watching George and all those guys. So trying to take a couple things from them to, try to put it in my game to try to get there. So
Well, thank you, Noah, man. We really appreciate you taking time to have you on. I mean, I know this off season's busy. You just got done with the lift and everything like that, but really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with us. Kind of wanted to make sure this whole, when we do these podcasts and interview all these people, we want to make sure it's conversational. And I don't like you get the same questions every time, I'm sure, right? And the same things. How does he look? How does this look? Like, what are your expectations? All that bullshit. So we just want to have something laid back. We appreciate you coming on here and being blunt with us.
yeah, it's been great, man. I had a lot of fun, man.
Well, we appreciate you. Thanks again, Noah. Guys, thanks again for listening. Make sure to rate us 5 stars. Leave us good reviews on iTunes, and we'll see you guys next week.